This time, she received a phone call from Eula that she had miscarried. She panicked. The mother cried and asked the unconscious Eula why she had miscarried. Ellie said that it was while she was with her. The mother-in-law believed that Ellie had caused Eula to become like that. Eula, who had just woken up, still didn't know that she had lost the baby. When she saw her husband and mother stammering, she guessed it immediately. In her grief, she blamed it all on Ellie. Eula was sobbing on her mother's shoulder. Gouda also gnashed his teeth with hatred. When the old father arrived and learned that his daughter had lost her baby, Eula cried and said it was all your daughter-in-law's fault. This shocked the old father. Eula just wanted to blame Ellie for this. Gouda's mother told her daughter to endure a little longer and wait until Eula gives birth to the baby in her belly. She will forgive us no matter what, for the sake of the baby. Lucy said, "What if she can't give birth to the baby?" Her mother told her to shut up. It seems that the father-in-law in the family doesn't want to see Ellie. He told her not to go to the hospital to see Eula. Junu said that Eula didn't miscarry because of Ellie. It was because she heard something from the police that she was so shocked. Seeing that Junu almost told him about the case of his eldest brother, Ellie quickly interrupted him. His father angrily rebuked him for defending his wife to the extreme. It wasn't long before Gouda's mother received a phone call from her son, informing her that Eula had miscarried. The mother took Eula back home. Not long after, the mother-in-law also rushed in and asked Eula if it was true that she had miscarried. The mother said it was all because of that evil woman. The angry Gouda's mother rushed to Ellie's office and vented her anger. She angrily rebuked Ellie for killing her grandson. Eula angrily asked Gouda if Jack was a suspect in the Big Brother murder case. Gouda told her to calm down and rest. Eula wanted to take him to the police and let him confess in person that he had asked Ellie to give false testimony. Gouda said, "If we keep talking like this, we won't get anywhere." He told Eula to get out of the car and said he wanted to take him somewhere more convincing. Gouda took Eula to the prosecutor's office. He told the prosecutor to tell Eula word for word that the other party had said that Jack was the last person your husband saw before he died. Eula doesn't understand why Gouda would ask someone to give false testimony. The prosecutor says that because your husband was with me. It's related to your group's acquisition of other companies. It's not good for the company's legal advisor to meet with the prosecutor. Gouda asks Eula if she still doubts herself. Eula is a little confused. Eula's mother can't believe it when she comes to her brother's memorial tablet. She cries and asks her brother why he was so heartless as to abandon her. At the time, he said he would help raise the baby for a while and let me marry the chairman. Enzu looks at the photo of herself and Eula's mother on her phone, and thinks about Eula who hit her with the car, and wonders whose hands the paternity report has fallen into. Eula's mother asks Enzu out to find out what the missing document is about, and whether it is about her brother. Enzu says that the letter mentions giving the child to someone else, and Eula's mother asks nervously who it is, but Enzu tells her to find out for herself. Mother-in-law and Eula want to kick Ellie out of the house. Ellie told them to wait until her husband returned. Eula scolded her for fraudulently marrying her husband, who was clearly her ex-husband, and not telling everyone when she married into the family. Unexpectedly, her father, who had just returned home, heard everything. Everyone was shocked. The father grabbed the photo on the table and looked at the wedding photo of his daughter-in-law and son-in-law in his hands. He asked them excitedly what was going on. Hearing that his wife knew about this too, he asked his daughter if it was true. Seeing that Eula didn't know how to answer, Gouda quickly said that the photos were fake, but Ellie said they were real. Just as you heard earlier, the old father never imagined that his daughter-in-law and son-in-law had been husband and wife. Frightened, Gouda quickly knelt down and begged for forgiveness. Eula even helped her husband speak up. The old father grabbed Gouda by the collar and asked him what this meant. Gouda saw that he could no longer hide and had to admit. The old father asked his eldest son if the reason he was objecting was because he knew at the time that you were already married. Junu said that his brother always knew, which is why he has always opposed marrying Gouda. The old father then collapsed. Everyone panicked and said it was a lump. The old father had a stroke and was quickly operated on. The doctor said the operation went well. The mother-in-law said she didn't want to see Ellie again. Eula told her to go out. Ellie said she hadn't done anything wrong. It was all because you forced me to divorce. Eula cursed her for being shameless. Ellie emphasized that she hadn't done anything wrong, and said that today's incident was caused by Eula, and that your father's stroke was also because of you. Eula was so angry that she almost died on the spot. Your mother-in-law told Gouda that you are finished this time. Your father-in-law will definitely let you divorce him when he wakes up and then kick you out of the company. Gouda begged his mother-in-law to give him another chance. Eula's mother told him to find a way to make Ellie disappear, and deal with it before your father-in-law wakes up. Gouda said he would definitely do it. After Gouda left, Eula's mother told Eula to figure out the situation. Junu and Ellie definitely will not divorce. You have to be prepared to separate from Gouda. Just go along with your father's wishes and your father will definitely forgive you. After all, you are also a victim in this matter. Your mother said that it is enough to put all the blame on Gouda. Eula's mother asked Gouda if he saw a document when he hit Enzu. How could the scheming Gouda admit it? She had no choice but to ask Enzu out again, and ask her to think about where she lost the document. Enzu said that it must have been taken by someone at the scene, either your daughter or your son-in-law. But Eula's mother said that she had asked both of them and they said they hadn't seen it. She told Enzu that she would be responsible for this matter. This information may be able to find my daughter. Back then, you abandoned her in order to change your fate. Why are you still looking for her? Eula's mother was surprised. Do you know something? Enzu told her to keep her eyes peeled and look hard. Maybe the person is right next to you. Eula's mother asked her excitedly if she knew where my daughter was. Enzu remained silent. She chased Enzu back to her house, and kept asking who adopted the child. Enzu told her it was better if she didn't know, but Eula's mother was devastated and told her to tell her. She learned that the child lost many years ago was adopted by her best friend's family. Eula's mother couldn't believe it was true. In a hurry, she hurriedly went to find Ellie's mother to confirm, but Ellie didn't want to tell her the truth. Eula, who couldn't find her child, was desperate. She took a photo of her child when she was young and went to Ellie's room to compare them. But the child was still young at that time and it was impossible to tell. If that was the case, it must be either Ellie or Enzu. Enzu's personality is such that if she were my daughter, she would never come here to make trouble. If it wasn't her, it must be Ellie. She asked Gouda to transfer the company shares to Eula, so that Eula's shareholding would be even greater, which would be beneficial for the shareholders meeting in a few days. Gouda begged his mother-in-law not to do this, saying that he would naturally find a way to deal with Ellie. But his mother-in-law told him not to touch Ellie. Gouda told her not to mess around or she would know the consequences. Eula's mother couldn't figure it out after thinking about it all night, and asked Gouda what he meant by what he said last night. Gouda insidiously told her to think about it herself. There is no one in the world without secrets. I'm not the only one who cheats on their marriage. This made her grind her teeth in anger. That guy must know something about me looking for my daughter. Eula's mother snuck into Ellie's room and took her toothbrush from the bathroom. She immediately asked someone to take it to the hospital for a paternity test. Uncomfortable, she saw Gouda running out and hurried to his office to rummage around. Gouda would have said these words if he had hidden his brother's letter. She frantically searched through the drawers but couldn't find anything. Just then, Gouda asked her what she was doing. He asked if she was looking for this. Eula's mother couldn't believe what she was seeing. Gouda said that this was the letter that Enza had in his hand. He was afraid that his mother-in-law wouldn't believe him, so he took out the letter and asked her to confirm that it was her brother's notebook. As soon as she saw it, she wanted him to hand it over, but Gouda said that this was the proof he had. His future depended on this letter. He said that after giving birth to a child, his mother-in-law pretended to be single and married his father. Isn't this also a fraudulent marriage? The frightened mother-in-law couldn't say a word. Gouda said, "When your father wakes up, what are you going to do? Are you going to be kicked out of the house or am I?" The frightened mother-in-law reached for the letter and started to grab it, but Gouda would not let this go so easily. Gouda said, "This letter also contains the identity of your daughter. As for whether it is Ellie or Enzu, you decide." Just as the two were arguing, Eula walked in and asked them in surprise what they were doing. Gouda hurriedly asked her what was the matter. Eula said the hospital had called and said that Dad had woken up. Everyone hurried to the hospital. The chairman finally woke up, but when he saw Gouda come in he suddenly became very agitated. He was telling Gouda to get out. The nervous Eula's mother asked Gouda to give her the letter, but Gouda said it wasn't time yet. The test report would be out soon, to confirm that Ellie was not her daughter. If it wasn't her, then it was Enzu. She remembered that day when she had made kelp soup and Enzu had said it was her birthday. Eula's mother rushed to her son-in-law's office and demanded that he hand over the letter, but Gouda told her to hand over the confession she had written earlier. There was nothing she could do, so Eula's mother obediently handed it over. Gouda even told her to push for him to become the company's director, no matter what. She had to prevent Eula and herself from getting divorced. She also had to transfer the shares she owned to him. If she refused, he would take the letter to her father-in-law. With no other options, Eula's mother had to give in. Gouda saw that he had achieved his goal and took out the letter. Reading her brother's letter, Eula's mother burst into tears. She couldn't believe that Enzu was her daughter. She had done so many things to hurt her. At the time, Enzu had told her to look her in the face. She had shouted out her mother's name in the ambulance. She had called her a lowly girl because of what had happened to Ellie. This child definitely will not forgive herself. She asked Enzu if she had known for a long time that she was her mother, but Enzu said that her mother was the one who shined shoes. Eula's mother was heartbroken when she heard this. Enzu asked, "Even if you know now, what are you going to do? Pay me to take me back to that home? What would you want with a lowly person like me?" Eula's mother could only keep apologizing. Enzu said, "You can't do anything but apologize." Eula's mother said sadly, "If you want, I can give you everything. As long as you don't let my sister get a divorce. I hope she won't let Gouda go. Then I will live quietly and not disturb your noble life." Back home, Eula's mother was heartbroken. She owed her daughter too much. Eula's mother told Gouda that she would never obey him again. The worst thing that could happen is that she would leave that family. But Gouda said, "Have you considered Eula? Eula can accept you having a child before marriage? She had no choice but to compromise again. Gouda asked her to transfer money to an account. He turned around and called the hat to buy and said the money you want will be transferred soon. The father asked Eula if she had released the suspect in her brother's murder. Eula said she did it without knowing. Gouda told me to do it. The old father was furious when he heard and asked her to call Gouda immediately. At this time, Ellie and Junoo also returned to tell them that Jack may not be the suspect, and asked the old father not to alarm the suspect. The old father asked Eula to sign the divorce agreement, and never get together with that kind of person again. However, Eula asked the father not to interfere in her marriage. At this time, Gouda ran in and said that Jack was released because he had an alibi. Ellie said that you had forged that evidence. The old father asked Gouda to get out immediately. Gouda said that you will definitely regret what you have done. You think I'm the only one who's faking a marriage? Maybe there's someone hiding even deeper around you. Eula's mother told him to try if he dared to say it. Gouda said that he couldn't guarantee what would happen next. Even if I die, I will take you all down with me. Thinking about all the self-incriminating statements he had signed, Gouda said that he could never get a divorce or leave the company. All of this was just heard by Eula at the door. At this time, Eula suspected that her mother was directly involved in her brother's death. Eula's father forces Gouda to sign the divorce agreement. Gouda asks his mother-in-law for help. His mother-in-law just sits there without saying a word. Gouda says, I have something to show you first. He takes the file out of the drawer and says, this is about your past. The old chairman can't believe what he's reading. He angrily asks his wife, what is this? It turns out that Gouda didn't take out Enzo's file. He says, I'm now the largest shareholder. From now on, I will be in charge of the company's affairs. Gouda got Eula's elder brother's phone from Jack at a high price, and carefully put it in the safe. His life and wealth were at stake. Eula's mother went to Ellie's mother and took out the letter from her brother, in order to let her marry Eula's father. Her brother had entrusted the young Enzo to you to raise. Ellie didn't want to hear this. Eula's mother knelt in front of her to apologize, and thanked her for raising her child despite her hardships. But Ellie's mother said that Enzo was her own child. Eula's mother understood her feelings very well. Gouda proudly asked his mother-in-law to hand over the account book, but Eula's mother said that she would tell everything, even if she was kicked out of the house. She didn't care. Shameless Gouda once again used Eula as an excuse. You can abandon a newborn baby. What's the big deal about abandoning Eula now? Eula's mother didn't want to hurt Eula. She hurried to the company and was just about to be seen by Eula. She took out the important black notebook and handed it to Ellie, and asked Ellie what she could do to bring Gouda down. Ellie said that Eula must know your secrets first, but she wants Eula to know. Eula, who happened to be at the door, only heard that her mother didn't want her to know the secret, which, in her opinion, was the secret of her brother's murder. Ellie told Gouda that she would definitely find the phone and she would definitely find out the truth. Gouda was furious when he heard this. If you're so curious, I might as well tell you. Ellie looked at him in disbelief. Gouda asked her what he could do to her. Ellie said your mother-in-law has gone to see Jack. Gouda was so scared that he quickly called Jack. Unexpectedly, it was your mother-in-law who answered the phone. She told Gouda that Jack seemed to have something to tell me. Gouda quickly said that the person was a liar. But your mother-in-law was too lazy to argue with him at this time. Jack said that he had a big secret. Eula's mother took out a stack of bills. And Jack, who was greedy for money, blurted it out. That Gouda had killed someone and was hiding it from everyone, and Ellie told her to prepare herself. Eula's mother really couldn't believe this, and Ellie said that Junoo also knew about it, and Junoo rushed over at this time. Junoo said that there was indeed evidence that Gouda had done it. Eula's mother told them not to talk nonsense. Jack said that he had decisive evidence and it was in that mobile phone. Ellie asked if Gouda had taken the phone. Jack didn't say a word. Ellie took out the recorder from her pocket, and went to the surveillance room with Junoo to retrieve the video. Eula thought about it and decided to go find Gouda. She said she didn't want to go home that day, and just wanted to be with him. Gouda was a little flattered. Late at night, after he fell asleep, Eula quietly got up and went to the living room to open the safe, but Gouda had already changed the password. At that moment, Gouda asked her why she was up and not sleeping. Eula stammered and said she wanted to look at the company's data. Gouda told her not to think about it, and that he just wanted to spend time with her. Eula saw that and didn't say much. The next morning, Gouda woke up and panicked when he realized Eula wasn't next to him. He quickly ran outside and opened the safe, only to find that the phone inside was gone. Gouda rushed to the garage and stopped Eula at the critical moment. He asked Eula to get out of the car, but Eula still managed to escape. Gouda could only watch Eula disappear from in front of his eyes. He kept calling Ellie, but no one answered. At this time, Ellie was holding the video and showing it to her mother-in-law. She was playing back the words from the voice recorder. Her mother-in-law heard her son-in-law admit that he killed Junha himself. Ellie said that Gouda had been misleading Eula into thinking that this case is related to you. Only then did the mother-in-law understand why she was told to transfer the money. At that moment, Gouda happened to run in. Eula's mother dragged him out, without paying any attention to the fact that everyone in the company was watching. At that moment, they happened to meet the chairman, who had come to the company. And you knew. He asked his wife what was going on. Gouda said he had something to say. Yula's mother saw this and tried to pull him away, but Gouda said it was about his mother-in-law. Coincidentally, Enzu also arrived at the company. Gouda said he called him over. The chairman didn't understand what was going on and asked Gouda to come clean. Gouda dragged Enzu up with him. He said directly that the mother-in-law had a child before marriage. The father-in-law thought Gouda was talking nonsense. Gouda said the child the mother-in-law gave birth to was Enzu. Yula's mother almost fainted when she heard this. The chairman asked his wife what was going on. Junu told him not to believe this nonsense. Gouda had no choice but to produce the evidence in his hands. The chairman, who had read his wife's report, could hardly believe his ears. Gouda said that the mother-in-law was the big liar. Yula's mother, who didn't want to say anything more, took Enzu and left. She knew that there was no point in saying anything more, but as soon as she opened the door, she saw Yula standing outside. She had heard everything that had happened. She couldn't believe it and picked up the report. Her mother cried and asked her to listen to her explanation, but Yula really couldn't accept it. Gouda was very satisfied with how things had turned out. Yula stumbled along. Gouda said, "Now you finally know. Some time ago, your mother kept transferring her shares to me." Gouda said, "It must have been Enzu who encouraged your mother. Because of what she said, your mother was going to abandon you." But Yula didn't believe that her mother would do such a thing. Gouda told her to think about everything that had happened recently. She ran to Ellie's mother to confirm it. Ellie's mother told her that Enzu was indeed your mother's child. "Your mother doesn't know about this. It was your brother who left the baby here. I didn't know it was your mother's baby either." Yula went home and rummaged through the photos her mother kept. She really found it hard to accept this truth. No matter what her mother said, she couldn't accept it. She ran out crying. Ellie hurried out to stop her and ask her to go back and talk to her mother-in-law again. The angry Yula didn't want to waste any more time talking to her. In the struggle, her phone fell out. The angry Yula stormed off. The phone on the ground rang. It turned out to be a call from the mobile phone store saying that the phone had been repaired. Ellie took the repaired phone and showed it to Junu. Junu, who heard the recording inside, broke down. The sister-in-law asked Gouda why he had killed her husband. Gouda kept arguing that he had not killed anyone. The grief-stricken sister-in-law was taken out by Ellie. Gouda's mother kept emphasizing that her son would not kill anyone. Yula asked him like crazy why he did it, but Gouda still emphasized that he was being framed. Yula told him that if that was the case, then he should prove it to me. Gouda said that he was going to marry Yula at the time. "My brother kept doubting me, so I lied." The police asked Ellie why she had withdrawn her testimony against you at the time because of the divorce. "Then why did Yula withdraw his testimony as well?" Gouda said that he was also going to divorce me. At this point, the prosecutor, who was hanging out with him, came over again and gave him a witness to the time. But he told Gouda that this was the last time he would help. My sister-in-law cried and asked Yula if he knew about it. Yula said he really didn't. My sister-in-law yelled at Yula, saying, "How could you not know when you slept together every day? How could you let me take care of the person who killed my husband? How can I forgive you?" Yula asked his mother what he should do now. His mother said, "You can't blame yourself. It's all my fault. If I hadn't been so ambitious, I wouldn't have hurried you and Gouda into getting married." Gouda's family came to visit. My mother cried and asked if it was true. If that was the case, she would not be able to go on living. Gouda told them not to worry about him. He had done nothing and would soon be released. Jack asked Ellie to take him away. He asked her why the police were looking for him everywhere. Ellie said that Gouda had been detained. "He was now blaming you and saying that you are the criminal." An angry Jack said that he must personally destroy this scum. At